Welcome back to my cord cutting guide series. Today, I'm talking to you, experienced streamer. You have been streaming for years. You know all about devices and apps and so on. So why are we here? Well, because even for the experienced cord cutter, this stuff can get to be a lot. With new services and devices every few months, it's kind of tough to keep track of. So today, I'm gonna help you look at your cord cutting journey from a little bit different angle. I'm gonna show you 3 different streaming paths that you could go down. Each of them is legitimate, but only one of them is for you. So let's dive in. All right, thanks for tuning in today, everybody. If you like what you see here, if it's helpful at all, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe and ring that bell so you know when we have more videos like this one. All right, now last week I did a cord cutter guide for beginners video, and it was all about kind of giving somebody the vocabulary and the knowledge that was necessary to get started on their cord cutting path. Today, like I said, this is gonna be more of an advanced series, right? But it's not primarily about telling you exactly which devices to go buy or which services to subscribe to. Now, we will talk about devices and stuff a little bit toward the end, but I am going to do a whole video on that coming up, so make sure you're subscribed for that. Instead, today I'm gonna tell you all why now is the perfect time to change at least 1 or 2 things about your mindset. And like I said, give you a few paths that you could go down, a few different mindsets you could choose from. See, the thing about cord cutting is that it's given us choices, right? Which is great, but it's a ton of choices. So while we're in control of our own entertainment destiny, which is wonderful, it can be pretty overwhelming, even for the experienced streamer. So like I said, you've got another new streaming service every few months. TiVo just came out with a streaming device. Now it's tough to keep track of all the devices and which one is the best. So to help you make your best streaming decisions, like I said, 3 different cord cutting paths that we're gonna go down. First, the I want everything path. Second, the I don't wanna pay for anything path. And third, the I'm on a budget path. So first up, the I want everything path. This is the simplest one out there. If there's a new streaming service that comes out, sweet, let's try it out. The new device from Apple TV does 4K and HDR, and it's only $200? Awesome, get it. Because in this case, you're financially comfortable, right? You better be.
There you go. Thank you, sir. There you go. There you go. There you go.
As an example here, not talking about the devices, but over to the services, you could subscribe to Hulu Live for $55 a month and then get Netflix on top of that for $13, Disney Plus for $7, HBO Max for $15, Amazon Prime for about $10, CBS All Access for $6, Peacock for $5, and so on and so on. Suddenly, you're well over $100 a month for TV services. You're right back in the same boat you were before you cut the cord. Well, price-wise anyway. So yeah, it's expensive, but it is easy. So you can get a lot of stuff this way, and if you've got the scratch, it's not a bad idea. It does keep things really simple. You'll certainly never lack for things to watch. But that's just one cord cutting path you could go down. The second one is the I don't want to pay for anything path. You got into this to save some money, and doggone it, you're gonna save some money. So similarly, this one is pretty simple. You have a decision that you make at the very beginning, and that's to say, I don't want to pay for anything. But it does take a little bit more effort than the previous one and requires a few more sacrifices, potentially. I mean, maybe it's not a sacrifice for you to get rid of most of the popular shows out there, because most of those are gonna be behind a paywall. They're on Netflix or Disney Plus or HBO Max or what have you. But maybe, like I said, maybe it's not such a sacrifice for you to give up on that stuff. Not everyone is in it to kind of keep up with the zeitgeist. I know that for some people, having the TV on is just about having background noise while they do their chores or work out or whatever. So for those people, there are dozens, maybe hundreds of free apps, often commercial supported, sometimes not, that can mimic either the live or on-demand experience that you get from paid stuff. So if you're looking to cut all costs out of your streaming experience, go check out things like Pluto TV, Tubi, and Crackle, among many others. And that's just on the entertainment side. There are also lots of good free options for news if that's what you're after. Anyway, the point is there are a lot of options out there, and I've done a lot of videos on the best free channels and hidden gems for Roku and Fire TV and Chromecast. I think I did Apple TV as well. Anyway, check those out. They're in the description. Today, we're gonna kind of skip over a lot of the specific apps and devices and whatnot, but if you go to the description below, you can find those videos for those suggestions. Lastly, the I'm on a budget path. This is our third path, and this is the group that I think most of us will probably fit into. You got into cord cutting to save some money, but you do enjoy some of the premium content that you have to pay to get. So this one is the toughest one to navigate, right? You don't have the same kind of simple, straightforward mindset of either buy everything or buy nothing. But this one does have the most potential upside too, in terms of balancing your content and your budget. You can get quite a lot for just a little. So this is where I kind of give the same advice I gave in the beginner's video, but we're gonna get into it a little bit deeper. Find your number. With all the amazing content out there, things can add up pretty quick on your budget if you just subscribe to every new streaming service. And you can take my word for it, as someone who has to sign up for every new streaming service to review it, yeah, it adds up pretty quick. So find your budget number. Is it 20 bucks a month? Great, you can get Netflix and Disney Plus for that. That's a lot of content. $30 a month, Netflix and HBO Max. You would be able to get that for, what is it, 27 bucks. That's a pretty potent combo. Or maybe your budget is higher. Is it 60 bucks a month or 70? Now we're getting into live TV territory if that's your preference, and you can go into that. Speaking of live TV, okay, let's talk about this for a moment. This is actually the perfect time to get your budget as low as possible and save some real money. So live TV is the most expensive option out there, right? You're talking 50, 55, 60 bucks a month for streaming live TV. But right now, think about it. We're in the middle of 2020 when sports is all but canceled for the year and the world is basically burning down around us. It's fun, right? Well, as I've said before, the only real reason I can see anymore for a $50 a month live TV service is for sports and news. Now, when sports is back, you'll have other ways to stream it, which I go into detail in another video. Again, check out the description. I'll put the link there. And when it comes to news, all right, look, I don't do a lot of this kind of editorializing on this channel, and I'm kind of skirting the line here, but hang with me here. All right, how do I put this delicately? If you watch cable news and you give it up, I promise that after about a week, you won't miss it. It's not doing you any good. So get rid of it. If it's about staying in the loop, again, there are other options for free news out there, and I go over those in another video. Guess where I link to that? Yeah, it's in the description. Go check it out. So you can get free news. Sports is a little bit more difficult, but you can get some good streaming options for that as well. You don't need the live TV streaming services necessarily. So without sports or cable news, the reasons for live TV kind of evaporate pretty quickly, and you can bring down your budget number a lot lower and save a lot of money. But ultimately, the point is this: if you can find your number and stick to it, it can actually make your decision making a lot easier. If I have a budget of 40 bucks a month and I'm already at 37, sorry, I can't sign up for HBO Max unless I cancel Netflix or something else. Now, that doesn't mean that you don't have to make the decisions, and yeah, it can be kind of tough sometimes, but the decisions do get easier and more straightforward if you have a firm budget. So there you go. Those are the 3 cord cutting paths. Choose wisely, grasshoppers, and hit the comments with your interpretations of the best way to travel each of those paths. I should mention, as far as devices, like I said, I'm going to do a whole video on this later, but I will say for now that even at an advanced level, for you, the advanced streamer, Roku and Fire TV devices are usually going to be the best bet out there for the vast majority of you. Apple TV is great if you're all in on the Apple ecosystem, and the Nvidia Shield is great if you're a mega PC gamer. But again, I'm gonna go into that in more detail, so make sure you're subscribed to that. But if this video helped you look at your cord cutting journey a little bit differently, hit that like button for me. I would much appreciate it. And don't forget to subscribe. I'd love to see you here on the channel for future videos as well. You know, I didn't even get into the 4th path. Yes, there is a 4th path, which is to free ride on other people's subscriptions. And I know a lot of you do that, but I didn't get into that because I don't know if it's viable for everybody. I don't know, whatever. Is there a 4th path?